Exodus chapter 23. Do not spread false reports. Do not help a guilty person by being a malicious witness. Do not follow the crowd in doing wrong. When you give testimony in a lawsuit, do not pervert justice by siding with the crowd, and do not show favoritism to a person in a lawsuit. If you come across your enemy's ox or donkey wandering off, be sure to return it. If you see the donkey of someone else who hates you fallen down under its load, do not leave it there. Be sure you help them with it. Do not deny justice to your poor people in their lawsuits. Have nothing to do with a false charge, and do not put an innocent or an honest person to death, for I will not acquit the guilty. Do not accept a bribe, for a bribe blinds those who see, and twists the word of the innocent. Do not oppress a foreigner. You yourselves know it how it feels to be foreigners, because you were foreigners in Egypt. For 6 years you are to sow your fields and harvest the crops, but during the 7th year let the land lie up unplowed and unused. Then the poor among your people may get food from it, and the wild animals may eat what is left. Do the same with your vineyard and your olive grove. 6 days do your work, but on the 7th day do not work, so that your ox and your donkey may rest, and so that the slave born in your household and the foreigner living among you will be refreshed. Be careful to do everything I have said to you. Do not invoke the names of other gods. Do not let them be heard on your lips. 3 times a year you are to celebrate a festival to me. Celebrate the festival of unleavened bread. For 7 days eat bread made without yeast, as I commanded you. Do this at the appointed time in the month of Aviv, for in that month you came out of Egypt. No one is to appear before me empty-handed. Celebrate the festival of harvest with the first fruits of the crops you sow in your field. Celebrate the festival of ingathering, and at the end of the year, when you gather in your crops from the field. 3 times a year all the men are to appear before the sovereign Lord. Do not offer the blood of a sacrifice to me along with anything containing yeast. The fat of my festival offerings must not be kept until morning. Bring the best of the first fruits of your soil to the house of the Lord of your God. Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. See, I am sending an angel ahead of you to guard you along the way and to bring to the place I have prepared. Pay attention to him and listen to what he says. Do not rebel against him. He will not forgive you rebellion, since my name is in him. If you listen carefully to what he says and do all that I say, I will be an enemy to your enemies and will oppose those who oppose you. My angel will go ahead of you and bring you into the land of Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Canaanites, Hivites, and Jebusites, and I will wipe them out. Do not bow down before their gods or worship them or follow them practices. You must demolish them and break their sacred stones to pieces. Worship the Lord your God, and blessings will be food and water. I will take away the sickness from among you, and none will miscarry or be barren in your land. I will give you a full lifespan. I will send my terror ahead of you and throw into confusion every nation you encounter. I will make all your enemies turn their backs and run. I will send the hornet ahead of you to the drive of Hivites, Canaanites, and Hittites out of your way, but I will not drive them out in a single year, because the land would become desolate and the wild animals too numerous for you. Little by little I will drive them out before you, until you have increased enough to take possession of your land. I will establish your borders from the Red Sea to the Mediterranean Sea, and from the desert to the Euphrates River. I will give into your hands of the people who live in the land, and you will drive them out before you. Do not make covenant with them or with their gods. Do not let them live in your land, or they will cause you sin against me, because the worship of their gods will certainly be a snare to you. Exodus chapter 24. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Come up to the Lord, you and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, the 70 elders of Israel. You are to worship at a distance, but Moses alone is to approach the Lord. The others must not come near, and the people may not come up to him." When Moses went and told all the people the Lord's words and laws, they responded with one voice, "Everything the Lord has said we will do." Moses then wrote down everything the Lord had said. He got up early in the morning and built an altar in front of the mountain and set up 12 stone pillars representing the 12 tribes of Israel. He sent young Israel men, and they offered burnt offerings and sacrificed young bulls as fellowship offerings to the Lord. Moses took half of the blood and put it into bowls, and the other half he splashed against the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it to the people. They responded, "We will do everything the Lord had said, and we will obey." Moses then took the blood, sprinkled it on the people, and said, "This is the blood of the covenant that the Lord had made with you in accordance with all these words." Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and the 70 elders of Israel went up and saw the Lord of Israel. Under their feet was something like the pavement made of lapis lazuli, as bright blue as the sky. But God did not raise his hand against these leaders of Israel. They saw God, and they ate and drank. The Lord said to Moses, "Come up to me on the mountain and stay here, and I will give you the tablets of stone with law and commandments I have written for instruction." Then Moses set out to Joshua his aide, and Moses went up to the mountain of God. He said to the elders, "Wait for us until we come back to you. Aaron and Hur are with you, and any more involved in dispute can't go to him." When Moses went up to the mountains, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord settled on the Mount Sinai. For 6 days the cloud covered the mountain, and on the seventh day the Lord called to Moses from within the cloud. To the Israelites the glory of the Lord looked like a consumed fire on top of the mountain. The Moses entered the cloud as he went up to the mountain, and he stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. Exodus chapter 25. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites to bring me an offering. You are to receive the offering for me from everyone whose heart promotes them to give. These are the offerings you are to receive from God: gold, silver, and bronze, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and fine linen, goat hair, ram skin dyed red, and another type of durable leather, acacia wood, olive oil for the light, spices for the anointing oil and for the fragrant incense, and onyx stone and other gems to be mounted on the ephod and breastpiece. Then have them make a sanctuary for me, and I will dwell among them. Make this a tabernacle and all its furnishings exactly like the pattern I will show you. Have them make an ark and acacia wood, 2.5 cubits long, and a cubit and a half wide, and a cubit and a half high. Overlay it with pure gold both inside and out, and make a gold molding around it. Cast 4 gold rings for it, and fasten them to its 4 feet with 2 rings on one side and 2 rings on the other. Then make poles of acacia wood and overlay them with gold. Insert the pole into the rings on the sides of the ark to carry it. The poles are to remain in the rings of this ark, they are not to be removed. Then put in the ark tablets of the covenant law which I will give you. Make an atonement cover of pure gold, 2.5 cubits long and a cubit and a half wide, and make 2 cherubim out of hammered gold at the ends of the cover. Make 1 cherub on one of the pieces of the cover at the 2 ends. The cherubim are to have the wings spread upward, overshadowing the cover with them. The cherubim are to face each other, looking towards the cover. Place the cover on top of the ark, and put the ark on the tablets of the covenant law that I will give you. There above the corner, between the 2 cherubim, there are over the ark of the covenant law. I will meet with you and give you all my commands for the Israelites. Make a table for acacia wood, 2 cubits long, cubit wide, and a cubit and a half high. Overlay it with pure gold, and make a gold molding around it. Also make around it a rim and a handbreadth wide, and put a gold molding on the rim. Make 4 gold rings for the table, and fasten them to the 4 corners where the 4 legs are. These rings are to be close to the rim and hold the poles used in the carrying the table. Make the poles of acacia wood, overlay them with gold, and carry the table with them, and make its plates and dishes of pure gold, as well as its pitchers and bowls for the pouring out of the offerings. Put the bread of the presence on the table to be before me at all times. Pure gold, hammer out at the base and shaft, and make its flower-like cups and buds and blossoms of one of the piece with them. 6 branches are to extend from the sides of the lampstand, the three on one side and three on the other. 3 cup-shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms are to be on one branch, three on the next branch, and same of all 6 branches extending from the lampstand. And on the lampstand there are to be 4 cup-shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms. One bud shall be under the first pair of branches extending from the lampstand, a second bud under the second pair, and the third under the third pair. 6 branches in all. The bud and branches shall be all be one piece, with the lampstand hammered out with pure gold. Then make it 7 lamps and set them out on it, and so they light the space in front of them. Its wick trimmers and trays are to be of pure gold. A talent of pure gold is to be used for the lampstand and all these accessories. See that you may make them according to the pattern shown you on the mountain. Exodus chapter 26. Make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of finely twisted linen and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, with cherubim woven into them with a skilled worker. All the curtains are to be made of the same size, 28 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. Join 5 of the curtains together and do the same with the other 5. Make loops of blue material along the edge of the end curtain in one side, and do the same with the end curtain in the other side. Make 50 loops on one curtain and 50 loops on the other curtain in the other set, with the loops opposite each other. Then make 50 gold clasps and use them to fasten the curtain together so that the tabernacle is in a unit. Make curtains of goat hair for the tent over the tabernacle, 11 together. All 11 curtains are to be of the same size, 30 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. Join 5 of the curtains together into one set and other 6 into another set. Fold the 6 curtain double at the front of the tent. Make 50 loops along the edge of the end curtain in one set, and also along the edge of the end of the curtain in the other set. Then make 50 bronze clasps and put them into the loops to fasten the tent together as a unit. As for the additional length of the 10 curtains, the half curtain that is left over is to hang down at the rear of the tabernacle. The 10 curtains will be cubit longer on both sides. What is left will hang over the sides of the tabernacle so as to cover it. Make for the tent a covering of ram skins dyed red, and over that a covering of other durable leather. Make upright frames of acacia wood for tabernacle. Each frame is to be 10 cubits long and a cubit and a half wide, with 2 projections set parallel to each other. Make all the frames of the tabernacle in this way. Make 20 frames of the south side of the tabernacle, and make 40 silver bases to go under them, 2 bases of each frame, one under each projection. For the other side, the north side of the tabernacle, make 20 frames and 40 silver bases, 2 under each frame. Make 6 frames of the far end, that is the west end of the tabernacle, and make 2 frames for the corner at far the end. At these 2 corners they must be a double from the bottom all the way to the top and fitted into single ring. Both shall be like that. So there will be 8 frames and 16 silver bases, 2 under each frame. Also make crossbars of acacia wood, 5 for the frames on one of the side of the tabernacle, 5 for those on the other side, and 5 for the frames on the west and far of the tabernacle. The center crossbar is to extend from end to end at the middle of the frames. Overlay the frames with gold and make gold rings to hold the crossbars. Also overlay the crossbar with gold. Set up the tabernacle according to the plan shown you in the mountain. Make a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely twisted linen, with cherubim woven into it by a skilled worker. hanging with gold hooks on four posts of acacia wood overlaid with gold and standing on four silver bases. Hang on the curtains from the clamps and place the ark covenant law behind the curtain. The curtain will separate the holy place from most holy place. Put the atonement cover on the ark of the covenant of law in the most holy place. The place of the table outside the curtain on the north side of the tabernacle, and put the lampstand opposite it on the south side. For the entrance of the tent, to make a curtain blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely twisted linen, the work of the embroiderer. Make gold hooks for this curtain and 5 posts of acacia wood overlaid with gold, and 5 bronze bases for them.